One of the most beautiful things about a short-term mission experience is how clearly they wake us up. For a brief season, life feels focused, our faith feels active, and our obedience feels clear and tangible. We pray more, we notice people more, we prepare more, and we depend on God more. And then the trip ends. We come home and almost without realizing it, we begin to ask a quiet but important question. Was that just a moment? Or is this meant to be a way of life? For many believers, God's mission has become something we step into for a season and then step out of when life returns to normal. Short-term trips are meaningful. They matter deeply, and God uses them powerfully. But they were never meant to be the finish line. They were meant to be an invitation, an on-ramp into a sent way of living. Here's the central idea of this chapter. God does not call us to short-term obedience. He calls us to a sent lifestyle. Short-term experiences are often catalytic. I know they have been for me. But long-term faithfulness is formative. The goal is not to preserve the feeling of the trip. The goal is to carry its posture into everyday life. Living sent does not begin when you get on an airplane or cross a border. It begins when you recognize that God has already sent you into your current life, your neighborhood, your workplace, your school, your rhythms and routines. Living sent means we stop asking, when do I get to go again? And start asking, how is God inviting me to live faithfully right now? When Jesus sent his disciples, he didn't just give them a destination. He shaped the way of seeing the world. They learned to notice people, to depend on God every day, to respond to interruptions with compassion. That posture didn't disappear when they returned home. It became the foundation of how the early church lived day in and day out. One of the dangers we face is treating God's mission as an event we attend rather than a posture that we carry. Events are powerful, but they're temporary. Postures shape who we become. God is far more interested in forming a people who live sent every day than in creating occasional moments of spiritual intensity. This chapter exists to help you bridge the gap between the project and your everyday life. To ask, what changed me during that experience? What did God awaken in my heart? And how might He be inviting me to live differently now? The goal is not to recreate the trip. The goal is to let it reshape how you live. So as you read this chapter, pay attention to contrast. Who were you on the trip? How did you pray? How did you see people? How did you depend on God? Now ask, what would it look like to carry even a small part of that posture into your normal routines? Don't aim for dramatic change. Aim for faithful continuity. If you're processing this in a group, this is a powerful moment to listen to one another. Not compare experiences, but to discern together how God may be inviting each of you to live sent where you are already. Clarity often comes through shared reflection. Let me offer this reassurance. You do not need another plane ticket to live faithfully. You do not need a new assignment to be obedient. You do not need to wait for permission to live sent. God has already called and placed you exactly where you are, and He's already at work right there. As you move into chapter 2, my prayer is that you would begin to see your life differently, not as a waiting room between mission experiences, but as holy ground where God is present and active. Let the trip shape you. Let obedience become ordinary, and trust that a sent life begins not somewhere else, but right where you are.